Jules, we need to talk. And we need to talk now. Let's talk about menopause. Yes, my jewels, I am Carol Blackgold, and as you saw in the intro, today I want to talk about something that is affecting me personally and affecting so many other women around me, which is menopause. And we all know menopause, they would define it as 12 months without seeing a period, or 12 months after your last period, you are said to be in menopause or to be menopaused. And in actuality, menopause lasts one day. One day the term menopause actually applies. 24 hours after, you are now considered post-menopausal. But I am not here to talk too much about the side. I am here to have a conversation with my women about why we're not talking about menopause. Why is it such a lonely time for some of us, most of us? Why, and I'm speaking for me personally, why has every conversation I have tried to have with another woman meet a brick wall of either denial, either making light of the subject, or outright lying about where they are in the menopausal journey? Now, I spoke about menopause being that one day, but menopause starts the whole process, and I call it a process, with perimenopause, which some people could start experiencing from as early as 45 or 40 or earlier, depending on whether, how your genetics, or whether you use medication, whatever. But you could start experiencing perimenopause, and let's average between at age 45. And that is a period, listen, where I myself had the worst experience. Now, you would hear a lot of people talk about the hot flashes, the mood swings, and so on. My greatest, and I by no means suggesting greatest meaning that it's an achievement, has been the lack of sleep. And lack of sleep, of course, insomnia leads to weight gain. And I spoke about in previous videos where I went on a serious weight loss journey, and part of that was to balance my hormones and stave off the onset of the weight gain that started happening. And with me not being able to sleep, I would go to persons of comparable age who I would think are experiencing symptoms of menopause, perimenopause, or even postmenopausal, and some of whom I would see outright evidence, of the hot flash, and they would deny to me that, it's just a hot day, and would avoid the conversation. And I started to feel so alone, like I am going through this alone, and who do I turn to? Now, I know menopause has certain stigma attached to it, where it is the end of your childbearing age. It means that you will no longer have a period, and society then would judge you as being old. But where I needed my tribe, even if we were considered old together, I, Carol Blackgold, needed my tribe to bounce information, the symptoms I was experiencing. And I felt abandoned by my tribe. I tried to have a conversation with my mother about menopause, and it was all of 3 lines. And to be fair to her, yes, my mother did give birth to 12 children. So her response to me was, well, I barely saw a period, so I don't know what menopause, I don't know whether I'm menopause. As if a period or a lack of a period is the only symptom that one experiences. And as I said, you know, some people have hot flashes, some people have mood swings, some people have insomnia, some people experience, you know, sexual difficulties, either low libido, high libido, dryness during sexual intercourse, and so many other things. And we're not talking about it. We're not talking about it because of the societal shame. As I said, I remember when I started to see my period, when I just entered secondary, or some would say junior high school. So many people, and this is the reverse, so many people either were lying about seeing the period or were very boastful. I mean, our parents would tell us, well, don't talk about having a period. But amongst our peers, we were all willing to talk. I had my period, I had my period. And those that didn't have a period were chiming in, claiming to have already started to have a period because, you know what, we wanted to feel grown. So talking about a period, getting a period, then we were being grown. But now, at this stage in our lives, where we would have experienced so many, you know, whether by choice or not, some of us have children. Well, if you chose not to, okay, fine. And we are now experiencing grandchildren. Why do we want to deny this stage or this phase of our lives that we have entered into and hold on, you know, to that I guess still young and I'm still vibrant? You know, persons would have told me, and I speak very few. I mentioned my mother has, well, gave birth to 12. There are now 9 of us remaining, and 6 girls. So yes, I would have had some conversations with them, but let me first admit that I am the last of the entire brood. So the age gap, there is an age gap where the conversation, though we cool, the conversation might not be as open and as frank as I would hope to have had with my peers, my fellow women of similar age going through the stresses associated, and I say stresses, of menopause. Now, if you have had smooth sailing, all the power to you. But I am here to confess that my experience has not been a pleasant one. I mean, ever so often I thank God because I am now what you would consider post-menopausal. Insomnia still remains a battle. It still remains a battle. But knock on wood, I have not had hot flashes. Yes, I know the mood swings and so on. And I experienced something that I so wanted to have a conversation with others about, called brain zap, where I would be driving or in any environment, and within that split second, I was feeling like the electrical circuit to my brain was cutting off. It probably would have lasted probably 2 seconds max, but it was immediately followed with a feeling of nausea and upset stomach, and that would probably last about 5 to 10 minutes and then I recovered. I could happily say that that particular symptom lasted about three months and I don't experience it anymore. But ladies, we suffering in silence. You know, the doctor that I went to when it became all too much is a man. And as a matter of fact, some of the best conversations I have had about menopause and the symptoms of what I am experiencing have been with men. And why? Because I work in a male environment. My immediate supervisor is a man, and I had to bring him up to speed with what was going on with me, so that, you know, you don't think that I'm crazy, don't think that I'm slacking on the job, don't think that when I have those little forgetfulness, that I'm just being sloppy about my job, but that they were real symptoms manifesting itself from the lack of sleep. I tell you, I would have gone sometimes almost 48 hours without sleep, sometimes. And that is when it became okay. And I started talking to others, wanting to find out what they're going through, and constantly being met by a wall. Constantly. And I chose to talk about it, and I may be all over the place on this video. But I chose, this is the week I am filming this video, the week of International Women's Day. And I think it was incumbent upon me, while we are talking of, it's focusing on climate change and information being readily available to all women and no woman being left behind in terms of information and what we have with technology, and talking about how climate change impacts women in society, especially those in rural villages, and how lack of information. And here I am, so many people are disenfranchised, so many women are disenfranchised for one reason or the other, either for the unavailability of information. And here I am in a society where I think that we are progressive, and yet one of the most regressive experience I am having is that chat talk about menopause and women coming together and talking about menopause. I would tell you, if you don't get help from your peers, and when I say help, I am not talking about medical help, because menopause in itself is not a sickness. However, it can manifest many symptoms in which you need to go visit a healthcare professional. With the reduction in estrogen and progesterone, I for a very short time did hormone replacement, and I knew that it wasn't for me. I read too many horror stories. I read so much research about some of the causes of taking HRT, and I know that is not the route that I wanted to go. I wanted to try more homeopathic methods, and but I wanted to talk with my healthcare professional first, and that I did. As I said, I did about 3 months of hormone replacement, and yes, there was slight, and I'll be honest with you, that's another reason why I really didn't want to go on with it, because how it dealt with my symptoms to me was very mild. The doctor said, don't worry, just now you're going to be sleeping properly, and I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I had to employ things like exercise, my diet, change up my diet. I had to do a lot of stretches, and I'm still not out the woods. As I said, I'm now post-menopausal, and I'm still not out the woods. As you know, I've read this research says that perimenopause, and that's the stage, the period from like age 45 to age, let's say 55, right? That 10-year period in which you experience perimenopause. You still have a period, it may be irregular, you start getting hot flashes, you may have sexual difficulty, you may have irritability, and you sundry others. I mean, you would see about 8 symptoms, but believe me, sometimes when people talk, and I'm talking about online, it runs the gamut, almost going up to like 70, 75 symptoms. As I told you, I mentioned I had brain zap. That is not really noted as one of the symptoms. It's very rare. But yes, online I did find some persons who experience the brain zap as one of their symptoms of perimenopause, menopause. And I am now post-menopausal, but the insomnia, I tell you, remains, but I am managing. I am managing through, as I said, diet, exercise, stretches, and sometimes even when I lie awake at night, I use white noise to calm me and get me all zen and would make me fall off to sleep. I often say I would be lying if I say that I have problem falling asleep. Falling asleep is not my issue, it is staying asleep. And when I do get up, I would again put on a podcast that's aimed at helping you fall asleep. And what I have noticed is the period of awakeness has diminished. The period of awakeness has diminished. If I lollygag on my exercise, I would tell you sometimes I could go back, I could revert to having those sleepless nights that turn into a couple days. Ladies, my jewels, I beseech you, I don't want to overwhelm you with me venting on this video, and I don't want to bore you, but I want to implore you, let's continue this conversation in the see, I just had a brain fart right on camera where what I wanted to say just went out of my head, and this is a reality of what happens. Let's continue this conversation in the comments. Let us talk. I am no doctor, and I'm in no way telling you to not go to your doctor and get on the right, whether you choose to go the route of HRT or you choose to try alternative medicine, yoga, meditation, whatever. But let's start having a conversation in the comments about your experience with menopause. This is the time for us to throw away the shame. We have lived a life, a fruitful life. We are now at this age of our children being, for the most part, being grown, where we supposed to have it together. A lack of a period. Who wants to be burdened with a period? Who wants to be burdened with the thought of pregnancy. You know, embrace your new freedom. And let's continue the conversation about menopause in the comment section. You have found your tribe. Let us be each other's keeper. If you liked what we spoke about or you liked my vibes, I want you to hit the subscribe button. If you haven't, hit the like button. And you know what? Share this video with your friends and family. Someone who is struggling with the symptoms or experiencing the symptoms of perimenopause, menopause, and even in postmenopause. Let them know that you're here for them. Let them know Black Gold has invited them to join the conversation. And let's heal, and let's grow, and let's embrace our new stage in life of wisdom and freedom and enlightenment. See you in the next one, my jewels. Bye.